Hey Ash, what's up? Where have you been? Did you get my memo? No, but thank God you called. I have a story for you. And this deserves a memo. All right, you guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to
This Deserves a Memo.
Woohoo!
This is Ashley speaking.
This is Rachel. Hey girls, hey boys,
Hey.
memo mamas, memo misters.
All right, well, we're back with another episode. I'm so excited.
I know, this is gonna be a good one.
We have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we're talking today about really our non-negotiables with men.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I need to hear your life updates.
Okay.
What's going on?
So, well, last time we spoke, I told you guys about my foot zoning. How I was going to go get my feet zoned.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and make it brief, but essentially I go to this lady's house, just her house, and she comes in and she kind of explains this like ancient technique to me about how she's going to map my feet, and different spots on your feet like resemble different things. So your kidney or your liver's here, or your intestines like are on different places of your feet. And so she first like soaked my feet, put them in Epsom salt, and then she put some oils on my feet, and then she started zoning and mapping my feet like, okay.
So your kidneys and your intestines are represented in different zones on your feet.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. So like you would see something in like a certain part of your foot, and that's related to.
Yes. So like in Chinese medicine,
Got
if
it.
you look up like a foot map, it will show you like your heart is here, your intestines are here, your pelvis is here, your
Got it.
ovaries are here. So she starts, mapping my feet, and then she like will find a spot. And she's like, okay, this is feeling stuck. She's like, is there anything like wrong physically with your shoulders? Or your shoulder. And I was like, well, yeah, this shoulder on my left side. And I kind of told her like how I had an injury there. She's like, yeah, you're having emotions stuck there. And then she grabs this book, and in the shoulder there's a list of emotions, and she's like, okay, I want you to read these out and let me know if anything resonates with you. And like one of them is like not feeling enough, not letting your creativity like come to fruition, like trying to like push it back down, financially feeling like it's never enough. And so I read them out loud. I told her which ones resonated with me, and she kind of like asked me why, and she had me stood up, and she like put her hands on me, and she said like when she yawns, like she's releasing the energy, and like she had me like replace the words that I associate with these different emotions. Like when I feel like financially like stressed with finances, she's like, what words comes to mind, and let's replace that word. And so then we like released that, which is wild. So there were different parts of my body that I was like stuck in.
Wait, how did you release it?
So
She
you
just yawns?
like, yeah, and like
She's yawning?
and then she like puts her hands over me and like swipes it out, and we're like, we come up with like a different, I don't even know, like saying for when I'm feeling financially like stressed and overwhelmed, like what to kind of think about in a different word, and like how to rephrase the narrative.
Okay. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Huh.
And it's so weird because when she was working on my feet, they were like tingling and burning. It was wild.
Really?
So it's essentially like energy release work. So I'm going to go once a month. I'll kind of keep you updated on the journey.
Is it expensive to go?
No, it's like $40.
Oh, interesting.
She doesn't really do it on like I found her on this like crazy website. She's like, I only do this to my family and friends. The fact that you found me is super weird.
Yeah, wait, how did you find her?
I found her on this list through one of my patients who also does zoning. And I'm actually going to go to one of my patients, or she's going to do my feet when I get back from our trip. She's going to do Ethan's too. And then I'll let you know who I like better, and then I'll have you go.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm gonna go.
But I wonder, like, because right now I don't want to do talk therapy. I want to do more energy work and like body work for like healing. So.
Oh, interesting. Why?
I just think I've done enough talk therapy, and I think a lot of your trauma, I believe, can be stored in the body. Like whether it's childhood trauma or any type of trauma, we do hold it in our body. And I think for me, that would be more beneficial, is kind of releasing it through the body versus just like talking about it. I've done EMDR in the past, which is very helpful. If you've never done EMDR, it's incredible. It's a form of like tapping therapy. But I kind of just want to try something new in regards to like therapy work. So yeah, I don't really have too much information. I'm still learning about it, but I will keep you guys updated on my journey.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like I would definitely respond better to more energy work also. Well, because I think it's also like a method of relaxation and like you're like surrendering yourself to the feeling.
Exactly.
Like allowing yourself to feel comfortable and like you don't realize how many of your muscles are so tense throughout the day when you are stressed about something. Like I will be working on something and if I'm nervous about it or stressed or just trying to prepare for something, I'll all of a sudden come back into reality and I'll notice that my shoulders are literally up to my ears. I carry it in my shoulders. And I like they're up to my ears and then I'm like, whoa, Rachel, like, okay, let them go. Like
totally.
Stop doing that. Like even Alex, our esthetician, she was like, you carry a lot of stress in your shoulders.
I believe that.
She like will give me massages and she'll be like, oh God.
Our bodies hold, if you ever want a book, it's called The Body Keeps the Score. We do hold trauma in our body and I see it every day with like women who come in who hold their trauma in their pelvic floors. It's like I'll go in and release like their muscles internally and women will just start bawling and crying. Like whether it's like emotionally or past trauma, and it doesn't even have to be about like abuse or sexual trauma. It's crazy. But I agree, like we hold so much in our bodies, so and sometimes it's an easier way to release versus like talking about it.
And I also feel like sometimes too, like I wouldn't say that I in particular have any crazy trauma,
like a big T trauma.
Like I've tried going to talk therapy before and I was telling the lady like how I felt, and honestly we should do an episode about therapy sometime and talk about that because
love that.
When I went to therapy, I think that there's a difference. It's so hard because when you find a therapist through your insurance that's covered, and I think some therapists are also like this in general that are just cash pay, they want to talk to you when you have a problem, and when you don't have a problem, they don't want to talk to you.
I get that.
And I think that that's kind of frustrating because I think of that as a form. I think that of all the different things that we do on a day-to-day basis that are helping us, like that's a form. That's like a form of like helping us get better. Like I exercise to make myself feel good. I don't exercise because something's wrong.
For sure.
So I feel like therapy should be the same way.
Exactly.
And same with the energy, same with the massages. Like you do all this to maintain a healthy status in your life and like stay in a healthy state. So when I tried talk therapy, I'm like, I don't like this because I don't have any trauma to share with you, and you're telling me that, you know, oh, it sounds like everything's going great now. I guess we don't really need to talk right now. And I'm like, no, but
I want to become better and I want to hit a I want to level up. And I think that's what this last therapy session I went to, because I was going to somebody who I loved, but she was getting so expensive and I wanted to go through insurance. And it was exactly what you said. She's like, well, tell me what's wrong. I'm like, well, nothing's wrong.
Like, I feel fine.
Like, I want to be amazing.
But there are some therapists out there. I think you just have to find them.
There are. And shout out Natalie. She's incredible. She almost is like a life coach.
Yeah.
Like, plus a therapist.
That's what, honestly, I think that more people, my dad has a life coach.
I want, like, when I can afford that, 100%.
My dad has had a lot of life coaches, and I didn't really understand what they were at the time when he first started doing it, but he used them for his career, and also, like, when he realized that he wanted to make a change in something that he did, or it's like, really hard. I think when you get to a certain level, I think in your career, like, sure, I think it would make sense for us to have wouldn't be bad for us, you and I, to have a life coach now. But think about it, like when you're 40 or 50, you don't get as much feedback about like who you are.
100%.
And so I feel like, yeah, when I'm older, I definitely want a life coach, like if I have like a really
successful career,
like whatever, because there's not as many people around you being like, hey, you need to improve this. Like, you're usually in a point where you're managing people.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in life coaches, so we'll see.
Anyways,
Anyways, that was my tangent. What's anything new with you?
Oh, well, we can talk a little bit about my skin journey, how I went to the dermatologist yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So I went to the derm yesterday, and I'm going on something new. So I was having some weird breakouts, and they put me on, and Ashley and I think that it's something connected to my liver, or there's like a testosterone imbalance, because I've been having like some crazy mood swings, and honestly just like my skin hasn't been great. I have a little bit of like brain fog, actually a lot of bit of brain fog all the time.
Yeah.
And so memo mamas out there, if you're feeling like you always are on your period every day of the month, then something's wrong, because that's how I've been feeling.
Yeah. And in our episode where we talked about Dr. James Smith, you were for a time feeling better.
Yeah, and it just came back.
And so it just came back. Just so you know, she's not lying. She was getting better.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden, the past few weeks,
I would say, I think it's been happening for like, it's slowly been building for probably like a few months now, and then past few weeks it's been amplified. Like, it's getting worse.
Yeah. So
something's going on.
She went to the derm.
So to take care of the skin situation, I got on tretinoin and Axone, 2 different little topical treatments I'm putting on my face. That wasn't helping as much, but he still wants me to continue with it. But in the meantime, he's going to put me on spironolactone to take that, which is a blood pressure pill.
Yes.
Or something. But you're saying that it's not like it's going to really be bad for me.
So spironolactone, it's a diuretic. It is used as a blood pressure medication, but it's not going to be like the cure.
No.
He's putting her on this while she's going to work with a naturopath to kind of figure out what the root of the issue is.
Exactly.
But I think, and I told her, she texted me, she's like, should I take it? Because she doesn't really want to be on a drug.
No.
But I think it comes to a point where when your skin gets to a place and you're not wanting to go out, or you're having really bad self-image, like I wouldn't want to deal with it either.
No.
So yes, I would take something if it meant to clear up my face for the interim while you're trying to figure out the root issue.
Yeah.
Is it going to harm her? No. I mean, there are side effects to any drug, and she's just going to kind of slowly see how it goes.
He explained all the side effects to me, and they were, but of course, it's funny. I trust Ashley more than any doctor I go to, besides Dr. James Smith.
No.
But no, like, he's telling me all these things, literally mid-doctor's appointment. I'm like, okay, texting her. I'm like, all right, should I take this? No, yes.
And I told her,
he left the room. He said spironolactone. He's like, 1 second, I'll be right back. And I'm like, Ashley, he wants me to take it. Should I say yes? Should I ask for something else? And she's like, no, that's fine. Take it. Because he was pushing birth control on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm sorry, no. And then, well, actually, that was the medical assistant. And then the doctor came in, and he was like, antibiotic, or I told him, I'm like, I don't want to take birth control, and I don't want to take antibiotics. And he's like, honestly, I really respect that. I don't like prescribing anyone antibiotics.
Oh, good.
And I was like, okay, well, Mr. Medical Assistant over here is like the Satan little devil over there in the corner. Tell him to zip it.
Yeah.
He's like, birth control? I'm like, well, who do you think you are, mister?
No. But I think, for the interim, I think it's fine. I've had a few friends that go on it, and it worked for them. And I did research on it. I think you'll be fine.
He also said that using that in tandem with tretinoin and the Axone, he said sometimes that actually can get rid of it.
Good.
Like, actually zap it. Because sometimes and he gave me a different tretinoin that's stronger.
Good.
But samples. So he's like, I don't want you to have to buy a new one.
Okay, good. So we'll see. Nice. We'll keep you updated on her skin journey.
Yeah, follow
along.
I
think for now, but she is going to she's going to see Dr. James Smith again.
October 18th.
And then she's meeting with another doctor, which I'm excited for, she will kind of do more of the ultrasounds.
But it's maybe interesting. Dr. James she takes insurance. Yeah, so she is a naturopath?
Yeah, she is a naturopath.
Interesting.
We'll see. But your face will clear with the spironolactone.
Mm-hmm. I'm making her my primary gyno.
Good. Yeah, she's a gynecologist who does things holistically. So I think we have everyone that we need.
Yeah.
So we can get you feeling better.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm excited for you.
All hands on deck.
I'm going to make her record her visit. I was like, should I come with you?
No, I'm literally going to record it. I told that to my boyfriend that you wanted to do that, and he thought that was so sweet.
My boyfriend?
He was like, oh, that's so nice of her.
Aw. Speaking of
my mama.
Boyfriends, should we hard launch?
We should hard launch, should we? Yeah, we
should.
Well,
so today we're gonna dive in. Sorry, that was a long intake there. But good stuff.
Not bad.
We're going to talk about non-negotiables, like Rachel said, in relationships. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe this is a time where you kind of maybe share.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to share his name or social security number. But...
Well, no, I probably will mention him, and I think people will see him on my Instagram by now. So,
Really?
yeah. I'm dating someone named Nick.
Oh my god.
Yes. We actually used to date in high school.
Wow.
And then we were disconnected. We kind of dated on and off in college, here and there. But moral of the story is that our paths have reconnected and we got back together.
That's amazing.
After not talking for a few years, which is crazy. Like, not even seeing each other.
What's the saying? If you let them go and they come back, they were always yours?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so give us did he ask you to be your girlfriend or his girlfriend?
Yes, he asked me to be his girlfriend when we were in San Diego a few weekends ago, or last weekend. And it was really cute, but it's interesting, like it's funny so we haven't seen each other in a few years, but it's also really interesting because like I still feel like I'm getting to know him, but there's still like a extreme level of comfort around him.
For sure.
And things move faster because we've known each other for so long.
100%.
Like, we started talking and I guess we didn't get together like as like girlfriend boyfriend that quickly. It's been like a few months. But still, I think that like it's interesting because it's just so much different than dating a new person. Like, I can pee in front of him, for instance. Do you know what I mean?
100.
Or like I can say like, oh, I have to poop so bad, like, or like I haven't pooped. Like, when we were on vacation, I can never poop on vacation, and he was like, what? Like, you haven't pooped? And I'm like, yeah, like girls don't, like, a lot of girls have problems when you travel. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like, how have you never known this? Like,
that's awesome.
no, but do you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, so it's funny. It's like, it's so different.
There is that comfortability around.
Yeah.
You were with him. How long were you with him before?
I mean, we've known each other for 8 years.
Okay.
So, but we were together. Like, he asked me to prom randomly. It's actually a very cute story. He asked me to prom, and I didn't even know him in high school. And, like, I'd never hung out with him ever. Like, never talked to him really. Like, maybe once or twice in a class. And then he randomly asked me. And then we started dating, and we had, like, the best summer ever. Like, literally so cute. Just, like, little teens having, like, a little summer romance. And then I went to college. And then, like, we were both devastated.
Okay.
And then we would talk, like, all throughout college, like, off and on. And then I moved back to Arizona, and we dated a little bit. Then we broke up because we were just kind of in different spots in life. And then,
So it's kind of on and off.
Yeah.
Okay.
On and off. But, like, consistently, like, hanging out and getting to know each other for like 7 years.
Whoa.
And then, yeah. And then...
Did you ever expect he would come back into your life?
No.
You didn't have any inkling?
No.
Okay.
But I was so curious because I hadn't seen him. I was dating other people. He was dating other people. But I had never run into him. And I think that is so weird. Arcadia and like Scottsdale is such a small town.
It's so... Yeah, I actually live like right down the road from his parents' house.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So it's weird. But yeah, so I have a boyfriend now.
Yay! And we'll have to talk more about it. I'll quiz you more later, but
okay.
The man doesn't have Instagram, so you can't stalk him, unfortunately.
Sorry, guys.
That's another thing I want to discuss when men don't have
Men
Instagram.
don't have Instagram.
So anyways, jumping into some non-negotiables, what are your thoughts? Like,
so yeah, we wanted to talk about today, like, just when you're getting into a relationship, like, especially for me, I actually was talking to our esthetician about this because she recently got out of a relationship and she's now starting to date again. She was married and she got divorced and now she's starting to date again. And we were saying like how ever since we've started dating or starting talking to people, like, we feel like we keep getting closer to the right person, and it's very interesting. So like with each person that we date, we're like, you know, I really liked them, but then there was that one thing and it ended and like whatever. But then the next person we date, we realize like they have more qualities that are on like a positive side than that for person before, but it's just a little bit closer, but maybe not the right person. So then you go to the next person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were talking about it. We're like, wait, that's so funny because we both felt the same way about it. So it's like with each person you talk to and you date and you get to know, we're just getting one step closer to that right person.
One step closer. And then when you find them, it's so good.
Yeah. But then at the end of the day, like, you start to build that list of non-negotiables.
Absolutely. And I think what helped me the most, I'm going to tell you this really quick story. When I was dating my ex-boyfriend, my dad looked at me and he was like, is he your soulmate? And I was like, no. He's like, well, then why are you with him? I was like, well, I guess I like him. He's like, you have rose-colored glasses on. Like, this isn't your person. Like, why are you wasting your time? I was like, okay. And I really thought about it, and I wrote a list for my next boyfriend and, like, of non-negotiables. Like, okay, what do I really want in a partner? And I don't know, manifestation. I feel like I manifested Ethan.
Really?
Yes. I don't know. Because I kind of kept, like, a journal, like, of what I wanted, and I would write things down. And I think if you're hearing this and you're single, and writing down a list of non-negotiables could be very helpful. Because when you do start to date someone new, you of course you're going to see all the good things at first, right?
Yeah.
But I think knowing kind of what you want and where you stand can be helpful when you get more serious into the relationship, don't you think?
And I also feel like it should be more of a normalized thing to, like, talk about that when you first get into a relationship with someone.
Exactly. Instead of waiting.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, shoot, we don't have the same morals. You know, we don't want X, Y, Z. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not like you have to talk about, like, kids and family. That stuff changes. It's like, I'm talking like, oh, yeah, like, you know, you could talk, just bringing up, like, yeah, actually every Friday night, I don't mind staying in and hanging out. And then what if they're like, well, we got a party, you know? It's like, maybe it's just so different.
Yes.
That's fine to talk about in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But anyways, let's get into it.
Yeah, you start. So what's one of yours that you wrote down?
Okay, I'll start while we're on the subject of partying, I guess.
Okay.
I think a big one for me is that, and then I think it's important to start establishing this once you get to kind of my age. Like, I think 25, 26, this is when you really start to see it. One of their main personality traits should not be partying. You should not, I don't want to ever look at them or have people recognize them as the partier. And that just can't be something they identify as. Does that make sense?
100%, I agree.
Like, what?
Oh, he gets shit-faced at every function.
Yeah, no.
Or, like, he's always like, yes, yeah.
No, I don't want that.
Absolutely.
Or, like, oh yeah, he's always high. Or, like,
yeah.
Just that's not
your vibe.
Not the vibe.
Oh, I agree.
And not a good sign either.
I agree. That's one of mine. I'm just gonna kind of round it in as a non-negotiable for me is somebody who takes care of themselves. So, you know, are they hygienically, their hygiene good? Are they taking care of themselves, doing the work on themselves, whether that's going to therapy or doing the work, like trying to just become a better person. And then
that could be working out too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Working out. Okay. Just really putting in the effort to make themselves a better person, because that's going to translate into your relationship. Absolutely.
And I always say that you are the person that you are the people you surround yourself with.
100%.
And I feel like I know in particular that I'm a very impressionable person. And I think that there also are some people out there that maybe do stick to their guns a little bit more with just their morals and values in terms of, like, drinking or whatever, even if they are surrounded by other people that do enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
But it does come to a time, like, where you will start to cave. Like, especially if you're dating someone that's, like, doing something that
absolutely
doesn't align with what you want to do, you're going to start adapting to that.
Yes.
You will.
And I think that's the biggest thing is they say their closest 5 people are who you are most like. And again, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. And I think that's huge, 100%.
Yeah, and I actually talked to my friends about this. I sent it in my group chat. I was like, what are some non-negotiables? And Sydney Kirsch, shout out Sydney Kirsch, she's definitely listening to this right now. She said taking care of themselves and prioritizing health and sanitation.
Yeah,
and she said has a clean apartment.
Yeah, I put takes care of themselves, clean, and health, wellness.
But I do like I'll go into my next one.
Okay, what's your next one?
I definitely think that there needs to be a sense of organization in their life. Okay. I think that everybody has their vices, you know, with sometimes things get a little bit cluttered, but they need to be organized and care about the state of their room, their bathroom, just like clean, like it's kind of hygienic stuff, but their space, like how do they take care of their space?
Cannot agree more.
Like there's nothing worse than meeting someone that looks really clean and then you go to their room and it's like just so gross. You're like, oh God, like this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like gross bathroom. That's something that the past few people I've been with, minus a few here and there, that's been something that I have noticed I continued to attract is people that are clean.
And it's so funny, and this brings me to a really good point, because I would ask Rachel, I was like, do you mind like that you're having to like always clean up after him, or, you know, play kind of like mom, if you will.
With one of the past ones? Yeah.
And you told me, you're like, no, I actually enjoy it. Like, I like doing these things. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But then now that she's in a relationship with somebody who is more organized and cleanly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say?
Yeah. Oh, very clean.
And I asked her kind of the same question. She's like, and what did you say? You're like, it's so nice.
It's so nice. I think it's because here's the thing about me. I love to cook and I love to clean things and I love to take care of people.
You do.
But at the same time, I also don't like to be taken advantage of, where I'm doing everything for someone, because that's not fair.
It's not fair.
Of course, you can enjoy doing those things, but it's not fair when someone is willingly and knowingly just like trashing shit and letting you just pick up the pieces. It's like, contribute a little bit, but you know, I might offer or just do something nice for you in terms of like cleaning up, like without you asking,
right?
Which is just something I do.
Mm-hmm.
But don't just assume I'm gonna always do it,
right? Like help me out sometimes. And I think it's different, like if, you know, some women choose, and I think it's a beautiful thing, to stay home and be the homemaker and raise kids while their husband's at work. And so I think great, like if you want to keep a clean house and you want to do all those things, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I think, just like you said, it's the being taken advantage of.
Yes. So like, I think that is totally fine that happens.
Exactly.
But I personally would never be okay with, so if, like for instance, if I was the homemaker and my husband just comes home and just always leaving the dishes in the sink or on the counter or on the couch, it's like, how much time would it have taken you to put that in the
100%.
dishwasher? I'll clean the kitchen after dinner. I'll do all that stuff. But how long would it take you to, you know, it's like the small things.
Definitely.
The small things.
And I think that's yes. I'm
like Nick the other day, he offered, well, he doesn't even offer. He's like, oh, I'm going to take your trash out.
That just turns me on.
And I want to weep when I hear these things. I'm like,
there's nothing better.
You're going to take the garbage out for me. Oh, let me water your plants. Where's your watering can? Oh, you're going to water my plants?
This is all new for Rachel.
I'm
so this is amazing.
But like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what?
And it also shows like how much they take pride in themselves, in their space, in their things, in your things. It's like, I know this sounds crazy. It's like honoring you. I don't know. It shows you a lot of who they are, if they are organized and they want to help take care of you and your things. I think it's great.
And it shows their willingness to be a team.
Yes.
Team effort. So
that's like one of my biggest ones. What did you say? What did you phrase that as?
What?
Organization.
Oh, organization.
Yeah, that's huge.
Organization and just how they take care of their space. Their space.
Something just came to mind.
What?
Sorry.
Speak.
I was talking about this, I think, with my mom or something, and she's like, it's so crazy that all of your boyfriends in like now and in the past, or not now, my husband now. She's like, how did you end up getting them all to do your laundry?
You got them all to do your laundry?
Yes.
You got them all to do your laundry?
Yes.
I'm getting some behind the scenes.
Ask all my boyfriends, or like you could ask Jenna. All these boys would do my laundry.
That is hysterical.
That I've ever dated. Is that weird?
That is so weird.
I think I have a spell.
I don't like when people do my laundry.
Oh my God, it's literally my favorite
I think
thing.
my mom gave me trauma. She would literally ruin all my clothes. Not ruin them. Sorry, Mom. That's mean. But I love that you did my laundry. Like, I loved it. And she actually, I actually think she did it diabolically, because I remember the day where that came and she said, time for you to do your own laundry. And I was like, what? And I remember she kept shrinking things and she's like, I guess you should just do it then. And I'm like, now I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I bet she was trying to just like pawn me off.
She probably was. Oh man, there's nothing better than getting home and all your laundry's done.
Oh, that's so nice.
And hung up for you.
See, I have to do that by myself.
I love it.
I do that all.
Anyways, okay, moving on.
Okay.
I have one: holding their own in a large group, making like, it's easy for them to be in a conversation, in a group setting, and you're not having to babysit them.
Yes. You don't worry about them in social situations. They can hold themselves in any social situation. Agreed. Totally agree.
Okay, I have to tell one funny story about this.
Okay, tell.
Okay, and then we can keep going.
No.
When I first started dating Ethan, the first time he met my parents, he flew out to Portland, Oregon to visit me while I was living out there. And my mom and dad were like, oh, just bring a bunch of your stuff, pack a suitcase, and have Ethan check them. We'll pick him up from the airport. Because I was going to move that summer, and I was like, okay, do you mind?
Now I know where you get this stuff from.
You mind?
That is so classic. Like, my parents would never tell me to do that, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just like, this is why you are the way you are.
It's so bad.
That is such a sell thing to do.
It is. So I packed 2 huge suitcases, and this is our first time literally hanging out or trip together. And I send him off to the airport, and
he's your boyfriend.
No, we're not even boyfriend and girlfriend at this point. No. And I was like, okay, my mom and dad, here's their number. They're going to pick you up from the airport. They've never met this poor guy. And Ethan is willing. He's like, I guess, okay. So they pick him up from the airport, and he's like, hi, I'm Ethan. Gives them the bag, and they drive him home. And my mom like packed him a little like lunch.
Stop
to
it.
feed him.
Okay.
But
how did it go?
The moral of the story is he was able to hold his own.
Yep.
He wasn't threatened by the situation. He clearly loved me enough, even though we had known each other just for months, to do that for me. And it was just like, oh wow. That was when I knew. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I think
he can stay.
I think he can stand being my boyfriend. Because I wouldn't let him call me his girlfriend.
Oh, that's funny.
But he passed the test.
I think that's actually one of my qualities, is that you can literally throw me into any room.
No, it's so true.
I know it. Like, and I think the one of the other guys I've dated had told me that, and he was like, it's so nice because no matter like what social situation I go to, like, I just know that if I'm with you, it's fine. And I'm like, I feel
that way.
So true. And so one of my besties, Sydney Patton, she's listening. Hey girl. Hey. Her and I are like that, and we call it crack the shell. Like, we go, oh, like, someone will be like, oh yeah, have you met blah, blah, blah? Like, yeah, they're not very friendly, or like, they don't really talk much. We look at each other, we're like, we'll crack the shell. And before you know it, we've got them laughing. We've got them showing us family photos back in the day. They're calling us, they're texting us. Like, I swear to God, you give me one person that you think is quiet, I will crack it. And I think you're one of those people too. You can do that too.
Yes.
It's a power we have.
Yeah. Anyone on an airplane, I know about their divorce. I know about their trauma. Mm-hmm. You got to put it in the headphones. But
oh yeah. No, usually on the airplanes, I always okay. I set the boundaries. People always get like, they want to chat, and I'm like, yeah.
No, you are so good at that.
I love doing that.
There
was one of my friends, I actually met like his roommate, and he said that he didn't like anyone on this planet. He's like, oh yeah, good luck like talking to my roommate. Like, he doesn't usually like people. An hour later, the roommate is sitting with me, hanging out, telling me all about his life, his parents. I actually end up learning more than my friend knew about him. Yes, it was hysterical.
That's crazy.
So good.
Oh.
But yes, holding their own in social settings. Okay. My next thing, this is going to be more for just the relationship.
Okay.
So, well, actually, no. I'm gonna. Well, yeah. This does kind of play into the relationship. This is kind of like a twofold thing. Being positive, like having a positive energy, and also feeling confident, like having self-confidence to where they feel positive and secure about who they are.
Yes.
And they don't ever feel threatened by anything that you do, if it's maybe quote unquote better than them, or it's something that they haven't done yet, or whatever. They love that you are doing something that's something that they've always thought they couldn't attain.
100%.
And they're proud of you.
Like, I wrote that down too.
Because they're secure and confident in themselves.
Yeah, they're emotionally mature.
Yep.
They're your biggest cheerleader.
Yes. So like, for instance, like if I said like I'm gonna do an Ironman and Nick was like, I've always wanted to do an Ironman. I can't believe you're doing it. By the way, I'm not doing an Ironman.
Yeah. Example.
But he would, instead of feeling threatened that I am doing something so physically taxing and some like that he's always wanted to do and he can't believe that I'm doing it, he'd be like, hell yeah, like that's awesome.
Yeah, what can I get you? How can I help you?
Yes. Rather than being like, you're doing that, like
I wanted to do it.
Yeah, and just like not being very supportive and just feeling threatened by my like dominance in that. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I think too, you and I are both very dominant women. We're strong women.
Oh yeah.
And so it can be maybe threatening to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're always wanting more, reaching for more, growing. And yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You need a man that's gonna...
I definitely terrify people. I do. Not anyone could handle me. No one could.
No, it takes a special person.
Not everyone could handle you either in a good way. Like...
No one. Like Ethan is a saint.
I know.
He's
no, but I'm
heavens.
saying like, it's like... We're very, like, strong-willed, and...
We're Jewish women.
We are. Except I'm not.
I know.
Ashley gets so mad that I'm not Jewish. I'm sorry.
I'm not really, like, technically Jewish, but I guess I am. I am. I married one. Okay. No, I'm on board with that. That was one of mine. I put, like, confidence, emotional maturity. So I think that's great. I also put open communication and a good listener.
Ooh, that's good.
Just being able to communicate and talk about absolutely anything. And I think that takes a lot of time to be able to do, whether it's past relationships you've learned from or maybe how you talk with like at work. I don't know. I think it takes a lot to build communication skills, and that's an ongoing thing and you evolve as you're together longer. Mm-hmm. But having somebody who's a good communicator who will tell you what they're feeling instead of like hold it in, that's really important. And then just a really good listener.
Mm-hmm. I actually think that I need to work on doing that, honestly.
Listening?
No, being more vocal about the way I feel, I think. Sometimes I think I'm good about saying it, but it doesn't always come out in the way it should. Instead of me just saying in the moment, hey, that actually hurt my feelings, I try and like almost recover without and like convince myself like it's okay, he didn't mean it, brush off. Like this isn't with any guy. This isn't like just like Nick in particular. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. No, but like, you know what I mean? And so I try and recover from something that hurt my feelings, even if it wasn't that big of it was some comment.
Like you make an excuse for them. Oh, maybe they said it or yeah.
But then eventually I go, my feelings are hurt and I'm mad at you and I feel this way.
Right, you let it boil.
And I say that, like I literally say it out loud and they're like, well, why didn't you tell me that earlier? Like you could have just said that what I said bothered you and then we could have just like squashed it right there. Yeah. It's just hard. It's like it's just learning that.
It is. It takes time, but it's more, are they willing? Mm-hmm. Are they willing to sit down and talk with you about something that hurts your feelings? And it's not, and it needs to be a conversation. It sometimes I think a lot of people, when they communicate with each other, they're like, this is how I feel, end of story. But like, why? Mm-hmm. Why are you feeling that way? How can we work on that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. So like deepening the communication.
Okay. Else? My next one is, we kind of touched on it earlier, but acts of service or no, okay, hold on. Acts of service isn't the right way to say it. Doing things that they know will make me smile and brighten my day. So, for instance, the other day I was having a really bad day. It was actually Ashley and I recorded a podcast and I was sobbing after because I didn't record my audio. Oh, yeah. And I was so upset about it. And I was just like having a bad day and that was like the cherry on top. Right. And I felt like I let her down. And I was like, no, she didn't. But she was feeling it. I was really upset. I was just so mad. And I felt like we were really close to getting really good audio. And then I just blew it. And I was like, oh, God. And so I'm driving home and I'm like just crying. And I like called Nick and I'm like, I had a terrible time. Like I'm like crying. He's like, oh no, like I'm so sorry. Like whatever. I get to my house and he was meeting me there for dinner. And I get to my house and he brought me roses. And like he was
Aw.
like, I'm so sorry, like you've like had such a bad day. And then I immediately start crying more. But I'm like, that small act like is so sweet. And it doesn't even
Changes.
have to be flowers.
No, it could have just been a hug.
Yes.
He came over, hey, I wanted to give you a hug.
Mm-hmm. He could have
I'm
even
thinking of you.
written a little note too. Like, you know, like if it's just them recognizing that like we need to pause and like acknowledge and you feel what I'm feeling,
Yeah,
that is so nice. And like it just shows that you care about me and you want to take care of me.
I would say the little things is for me one of the most important. It's just this
The little things.
The recognition. It's the little notes.
Yep.
It's the texting of like when Ethan will text my mom, hey, how did you do after surgery? It's the reaching out to Rachel's dad. Like it's these little things like, I don't know.
It's
just
the remembering that I have this going on that day. Or it's the remembering that my, you know, it's the asking about my friends. Or, oh, how did Sydney's, like, you know, presentation go? Or, like, how did Ashley's mom, like, you know, it's like just remembering and asking and just acknowledging that you want to be a part of my life.
Exactly. And it shows, like, it shows they care.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shoot, they really care.
Because humans love to be listened to.
Yes.
And I think that if you're not listening, it really shows. Like, you can't do those small things. And so it shows that they're listening. And I actually really do try and, like, consciously do this. I don't know where I got it from, but even from, like, since day one, I've always told my dad, like, when someone's talking to you, you look, like, my dad is really bad at doing this.
Oh, look them in the eye?
I'm like, you need to look them in the eye. Don't look around the room. I know you're at an event and you see people you know. Forget it. Look them in the eyes and keep eye contact because it looks like you're not focused on them and they feel like you're not listening. And then, like, same thing. There was this lady at my workout studio that came in. She always takes classes, and she told me the last time, this was like a month ago, she was going to Boston to visit family. So she comes back for the first time the other day, and I go, Dee Dee, it's so great to see you. How was Boston?
Yep.
And she goes, wow, good memory.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, you were going out to see your family. You were there. You're going to go to the apple orchards? And she's like, yes, I was. And, like, she was, like, so, like, that is...
taken back. She's
like, wow, like, it was really great. Like, thank you so much. Like, it's so good to see you.
Yep.
And I don't even think she remembered my name. But
that's what makes you impressionable.
And I always try and do that. Like, I always try and ask, like, how was your birthday? How was your trip? I always write everyone's birthday down on my calendar. Like, it's like, it's remembering those small things, and you will become, like, a better person in other people's eyes.
100%. I do that with my patients. I'll, like, take notes. They're like, I'm like, how's your little one? I know she started kindergarten last week, and they freak out. They're like, you're so, wow. And I take notes, like, I can't remember, 300 people.
Yes.
But it goes a long way.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. But it also, like, I remember that it makes me feel good too. I'm not doing it to suck up to anyone.
No.
I'm like, and I don't think you are either. I just recognize that, like, it shows.
It makes you feel good.
It makes me feel good, and I know that it will make other people feel good too. Like, if someone remembered that about me, I'd be like, wow, like, that makes me feel really good.
Yeah. The other day, last example is Rachel had to come over into the house, and Ethan left you the key, and he wrote on that napkin.
I took a photo.
Like,
I showed you the photo, right?
I don't think so.
What?
I saw it because I came home from work.
I left it for you to see it.
I just, like, that blesses my freaking heart.
Wait, oh my God. I think I forgot to text him about that. I literally took a photo and I teared up because I thought it was, like, the sweetest
those
thing.
are the things. On a freaking napkin, his horrible penmanship.
It said, love you, rah, rah,
love
on
you,
the paper
rah, rah.
towel.
It's the little things.
Wait, crap. I was in such a rush, and I think I forgot to text him about it. And I took a photo, and I got so emotional.
It brings me
Let's
to
post it on the Instagram.
Yeah, we will.
It's so cute.
It just was, I don't know. So, and maybe that takes time for men to, like, come into, or I'm not sure. And maybe not every man will do those things for you. But they should show you that they care some way.
Exactly.
Whether it's with their words or, acts of service or something.
Yeah, they should. They
should.
always should.
Okay.
I have one more.
Yeah. I have I just said fun, humor, fun, silly.
Oh, yes.
Lets me take pictures of them and record them.
Let's lose. Yeah, just whatever. Instagram boyfriend.
Exactly. What about
Nick
you?
is learning to be an Instagram boyfriend.
It's hard.
The last one I have is has goals and dreams.
Yeah, I wrote that. Passion.
Aspirations.
Yeah.
Wants to be, aspires. I know we talked a little bit about taking care of themselves in terms of working out or therapy and doing the work. But I also really admire even if, I'm not kidding, even if I was with someone that was working at a McDonald's, but that's what they needed to do, and they're like, I'm gonna get that, one day I'm gonna do this, and I'm so excited for when I have all this property. It's it shows that you have to start somewhere, and they're doing the work to get to that point, and that they're not gonna just remain stagnant. I think it's really cool to see someone that's always thinking ahead into the future and just being one day I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get there, and I don't know how, but I'm going to.
Yes.
And that is
they're always trying to level up.
Yes. And it's not you need to be I'm gonna be an accountant and whatever. You don't have to know. It's just the fact that they're thinking about that, and they're I know, because you can't plan like that. You can't always just know the route. But it's cool when someone's willing and open to going down that route, no matter what it takes to get there.
And they show the passion, they're grinding, they're doing the work.
Yeah.
And they're not, and it could be passion about family. It could be passionate with friends or a hobby, but I agree. They have a goal. Goals.
Goals, yeah. Goals. So,
no, I think we can agree on almost all of them.
Yeah. Even, it's so funny, Nick wrote me a workout plan. Have you been using it?
Yeah.
I actually I can bench press 85 pounds.
Oh my God.
I put 20 pounds on either side of the bar now. Before, it was just the bar. And now I can overhead press, the bar with, 10 pounds on either side.
That's a lot of weight.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm getting strong.
She's going to be a bodybuilder.
And I almost can do a pull-up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so close. But I'm so close. I'm so excited. But
I'm so proud of you.
But he was telling me, he was making the plan. He really wants me to write all of the workouts I do down, log it. Hard. And I hate it. And I'm I don't like it. And he's well, Rachel, what's your goal? And I'm my goal? I don't know, just be fit. And he's yeah, but at the end of the day, you're here, you spend so much time working out, and you need to have a goal. That's what's gonna make this always feel you're always gonna stay challenged, and you're always gonna actually enjoy this, and you're gonna feel way more fulfilled if you're putting a goal at the end of whatever journey this is. And it's okay if you deviate a little bit from your plan, but what's your goal? Mm-hmm. And I was I've never thought of that ever. I don't know. I feel once you kind of get in, I feel I'm now getting to that point of working out. It took me a few years to get to this point, but now I'm yeah, what is my goal? I should start being now I have the pull-up thing. Yes. I want to get a pull-up.
Yeah, you have been working really hard on that.
And when I get that pull-up, I'm going to be so excited.
Yeah.
I only use a 30-pound band to assist me to get up. Yeah. I used to need a 70-pound band.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
So
I'm so excited.
Setting goals, getting fit.
No, and I also think too, you, and I talked to Rachel about this just to kind of end is the way you are and how you live your life you will attract, I believe, somebody. If you wait and if you're, you don't settle, I think you can really attract somebody has similarities in the same kind of morals and values that you do. But then also too, even though if you're not the same, I've noticed that being with Ethan, if I just do what I'm doing, if I make the vision board and he's what are you doing? The next year he's well, can I make a vision board with you? Mm-hmm. Just I think if you can lead by example, and oftentimes your partners will catch on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something to be said. If you do the work, most often it seems they might come around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And another thing too is you can't change anyone.
Words to live by, you guys.
You can't. And if somebody is doing something, you're never going to be able to change them. They have to change themselves.
The only person you can change is yourself. Mm-hmm. My dad has told me that.
Yeah. And I've definitely learned that the hard way a few times, but it's true. And I've tried to change people and it doesn't work. And yeah, so if you're feeling upset about the way that some guy you're talking to or dating and he like about the way he acts, or he's just not doing the stuff that you want him to do.
Exactly.
And you've expressed that and he hasn't changed or tried to, he's not going to change then.
Unless he wants to.
Exactly. And he doesn't want to change.
Right.
You know?
And maybe he will change one day.
I know, but you can't sit around
life
waiting
goes
for
on.
that.
Exactly. And that's you sister have learned that.
I've learned that. I learned the hard way.
Watch her go through it and you come out better on the other side for sure.
You do. But it's like I think that you can have patience and like watch them and be okay with them learning to change, because of course there's always going to be a little bit of like a little margin of error, and they're going to have to try and adjust to that new thing that they need to do for you or whatnot. But I don't think you should just wait too long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's like a fine line.
Exactly. I mean, would you say in the past you waited too long? Or did it take you enough time to kind of see, oh, like things aren't changing?
I think, okay, here's my perspective is that I think I was in a relationship where I had to wait. I think I waited too long, but I also think that it's because I've never been in a serious relationship before.
Got it.
So I think I was just too young, and now I've learned that lesson, and I understand
you can apply it to.
Yeah, like yeah. I would put my foot down a lot sooner, but I didn't know.
Exactly, and you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Like I'd never been in a serious relationship, so like how am I supposed to know that?
Right.
Trial
and error.
Like I'm also one of those people that I don't think that I can change everyone, but I always think that people, like there's always something good on the other side, and that I just have to be patient. But sometimes you just got to be like, no, screw this. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm moving on.
Like, get out. No, you're not serving me any positivity. Like, no, because you have to be selfish. It's your life.
Exactly.
Like, do what's good for you.
Yeah.
And if someone's not going to lift you up and make you feel better, like, of course, if someone's going through something really challenging, of course, like, you should have patience. But if there's nothing really going on and you just feel like trash in the relationship, like, you change it. Get out of there.
Totally.
Say sayonara.
Sayonara.
So
I think those are all great things. Things to consider.
But also, like, they're just what we think.
Exactly. Our opinion.
And if you are happy with if your boyfriend or your husband is so messy, but you wake up every day with a smile on your face and you never have any worries or cares about that, that is so good. Exactly. I love that for you.
Same.
I just want everyone to be happy. Like, literally, that's all I care about.
And you deserve happiness.
Yeah.
And you deserve somebody who, like, lives to make you happy.
Exactly. So. Well put. Well put.
Okay, you guys, I think that really concludes the episode. That was a good one.
That was good. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
So make sure to follow us on
TikTok. That's This Deserves a Memo on TikTok. Instagram is memo.mamas. And then YouTube is just This Deserves a Memo.
Wonderful. And please like, subscribe, and maybe share with a friend.
Yes, we love that.
We want to try and grow our Memo Mamas and Misters.
And if you want to leave a review, we would #love you for that. You can put it on our Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I think we have one review. No, we have 2 reviews.
Heck yeah. 2 reviews.
Thanks, honeys. But yeah, honestly, thank you guys so much for listening. I think with your patience, we'll just keep getting better and better.
Oh, yeah. So it's taking time, but we already feel like, okay, we're getting the hang.
We feel so good.
Yeah,
I love it.
So you guys, we hope you learned a little.
We hope you laughed a little
and you loved a lot. Bye.